Welcome back to Good Morning Arizona. It's 8:11. Put your nose to the grindstone. Work your way up. That's maybe a blueprint that's guided your work life, a lot of ours, but what if that's left you wanting, missing something? Our guest today is Shelley Paxton, author of Soulbbatical, a memoir and guide to how she stepped away from corporate America and into the role of Chief Soul Officer of your own life. I love that title.
Thank you.
So congratulations. Good
Thank
morning. You left behind a career that was fulfilling on paper.
Yes.
Satisfying, successful. You looked inside, and how did you have that epiphany that something was missing and that you had the nerve to do something about it?
Yeah, well, the nerve didn't come easily, so
Okay.
I'll say that right off the bat. But the epiphany came in a series of illnesses, in a nightmare, all the things that I write about in this book, where it was like I was sort of pretending not to know that I was feeling unfulfilled. And now I say I had all of the success without the full. I felt kind of empty and a void inside. And so this final nightmare that I had just woke me up. And then shortly thereafter, my dad had 2 strokes, and I thought, life is too short. It's really important for me to just look inside and really understand myself. And I decided to crown myself Chief Soul Officer. And I was always a rebel, right? There's a reason why this title is a Corporate Rebel's Guide to Finding Your Best Life. And so I was like, you know what? Actually, authenticity is the truest form of rebellion.
Yeah.
And that set me free.
It must be an incredibly daunting task to say, hey, I'm going to make this major life change and I'm going to figure out what success looks like and feels like in my own authentic space. So I know that you've kind of set up a guide that at least worked for you to finding that freedom. There's financial obligations that we all have hanging over us, right? So there's steps that need to be taken if you want to shake things up.
Yeah, and you know what the beauty of this is? Like I didn't know what this journey was going to look like. When I first left Harley Davidson, all I knew was that I was nourishing my creative soul and I needed to get back in touch with and in alignment with myself. But now what I understand is Soulbbatical doesn't mean leaving your job. Soulbbatical is all about finding yourself.
Finding yourself.
It's a way of being in the world, and it's creating a life that's more authentic, more courageous, more purposeful. And so that's my mission. And there are as many ways to do Soulbbatical as there are humans in the world. And that's what I think is really beautiful, because burnout is an epidemic. Unhappiness is an epidemic. And so I want more people to realize that give yourself permission to create the life you love. And that's really what this is about. And there are a lot of provocative questions in here to help you figure out, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, and you've got to acknowledge the dissatisfaction first and be honest with yourself, number one, in the mirror before you move forward. So you've got a couple acronyms that are going to help us through this process, right? So beginning with soul, show up.
Yeah, so SOUL is an acronym this whole framework is an acronym for saying, how do you move from like these new beliefs to intentions to action? Because I want to make sure that this can actually lead to some impact and some change in people's lives, right? So show up means really just stop hiding and playing small.
Okay, so that's our S of soul.
Yep.
O would be own it. You got to take ownership of what direction you're going and where you really are.
Ownership of it and believe in it, right? So a big thing is like say it again and again and again inside you, because once you believe it, you can project that into the world. Which leads to the you.
Yes.
And the
unleash it.
Yes, unleash it, right? So unleash it is put that intention out there. So believe it yourself inside, put it into the universe, and find your mentors and people who inspire you and will support you on this journey.
And finally, you're getting to the point where you can live it.
Yes.
Live your authentic self. Be the chief spiritual officer of your own life.
The chief soul officer of your own life. And live it is live who you want to become or what you want to create before you're ready. And I think those last 3 words are really crucial. Before you're ready. I wasn't ready to do this. It was so scary for me to leave corporate America. It was secure. It looked very sexy on paper. I got paid good money. And now it's more rewarding and more fulfilling than I could have ever imagined.
It is scary to leave what you know behind, but it worked for you, and just speaking to you and reading your energy here is very inspiring to explore what is really leaving you less than satisfied or where you're finding your fulfillment. So the book is Soulbbatical. It is available now, a corporate rebel's guide to finding your best life. Gina, I imagine we're going to want to share a copy of this around the studio.